Okay, so I'm going to show you a few websites that you might find useful when you're doing activities where you have to learn some text. Now, you will find this particularly useful when you get onto your controlled assessments. So there's two things that we want to be able to do. First of all, we want to make sure that we can pronounce things correctly before we want to learn them. And then once we're confident that we're pronouncing them correctly, then we want to practice memorizing. So let's start with some pronunciation websites. So I'm going to log into imtranslator.com. You do need a login for this one, but it's very easy to set up and it's free. Brings me to this page here. Now, I don't want to use this as an online translator because we know that's a recipe for disaster. So I'm going to go to TTS Voice, and it will give me this window here. So I'm going to pick the first bit of my text, copy it across, and then in the language box, I'm going to go to Spanish. And when I click the Say It button, it will say it back to me in a perfect Spanish accent. So what I recommend doing is picking out bits of the text, so don't put the whole text in at once, pick out bits of the text, practice saying it back to the computer and testing yourself. And you will improve your pronunciation and your accuracy. So that is imtranslator. Another similar website is Voki. This one here, which is voki.com. So this is a similar idea. You go to create up at the top first of all, and it'll come up with a character like this, which you can customize as you wish. To put in your text, you go to give it a voice here and the little keyboard button. As you can see, I've entered Me llamo Fernando Torres into that. You want to make sure it's in the correct language. So you can have a play with Japanese if you want, but for this purpose we need Spanish. And you can also change the voice, so you can change it from male to female as you wish. Then click done. And then to have it play the sound back to you, just go to the play button here. So we now have Fernando Torres talking in a woman's voice. Again, I would say break down your text bit by bit. Don't always start with the first one. You can always pick out other phrases because you want to make sure you know the last bit as well as you know the first bit. Okay, so that's pronunciation websites. Let's move on to some websites that help you memorize text. So first of all, we've got memorizenow.com. Again, this is a free website. So you want to start off by going to enter text at the top. And the way you want to do this is you want to take a phrase at a time. So I'll just take that first one, copy it across. And then you want to pick a word from each phrase that's going to help you remember the whole phrase. So in this case, I'm going to take Fernando, copy it into this box here, and then click add. Now that has saved the entire phrase under that one word, which I'm going to use to remember it. So it's like when you're making a cue card, you pick out a word that's going to help you remember the whole sentence, or a word that you find quite difficult that you're going to want to remember. So I'm going to move on and take the next one. This one I'm going to use the first word because I think that will help me remember the next few. So add that, and it comes up here. For the next phrase, I'm going to pick delgado because it's a word I find hard to remember how it's spelled and how it's said, so I'm going to add that one. So what you get then, that's my mistake, let me do that again, and add them. Okay, so what you can do then is go to flashcard, and it will give you the first word of the phrase. You test yourself, so you see if you can remember. I'm going to say Me llamo Fernando Torres. Click show answer, and it will tell you whether you've got it right or wrong. So you can do this if you're practicing to write it. You can do that written down and then test yourself afterwards. The other thing you can do is you can take a bigger block of text or the same amount of text, whatever you want to do. Stick it in there, and you can go into the words section, click the arrows, and it will take out some words so you can test yourself. It gradually takes out more and more, or you can go to letters where it will just give you the first letter of each word, and you can go and remember it like that. So different people find different activities useful. So that's memorised now. Now we've got Textivate.com, which is another memorisation website. You do need to log into Textivate.com, and I'll just show you how you would do that. So we have a Perrins login for this that all the students can use. It's Perrins MFL4, and you go to student password, which is displayed in Mrs. Fuller's classroom. So I would make a note of that. It's at the front of the classroom, to the left of the whiteboard. Submit data, and as you can see, I've entered my text in there. Once I've entered my text, I can go to Textivate now, and I can choose a range of different activities. So some of them are, let's have a look at this one. This lets you order the text, so it's jumbled up the text and you have to order it. So I'm going to say that one goes there. And that one goes there. And you can order it and check it, and it will tell you whether you're right or wrong. Another good activity is similar to one on Memorise Now, which is where it takes out the different letters. So you can have some where it takes out the vowel, some where it takes out the consonants, and some like this one where it just gives you the first letter, and you have to add in the next ones, which can be really useful when you're learning things like adjective endings and you want to test yourself, or verb conjugation. Okay, so have a play with those websites, use them to help you, and let me know if you have any questions.